Senate approves President Buhari's 819.54 billion naira domestic loan request for capital projects. And the Nigerian Senate urges the Central Bank of Nigeria to extend deadline for withdrawal of old notes to June 30th, 2023. Oil prices drop on the global scene as China COVID-19 affects demand. Plus, Twitter back online after global outage affected thousands across the world. This is Business Express on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, and we're reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. My name is Liakatin Babatunde. You're welcome. It is countdown to the year 2023, and of course, the much awaited budget activity at the National Assembly has occurred. Now, just this Wednesday, the National Assembly passed the 2023 appropriation bill of 21.8 trillion naira, higher than the 20.5 trillion naira submitted by the executive. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports that the Senate also approved 819.5 billion naira for ways and means for the funding of the 2022 supplementary budget.
7th of October 2022, President Muhammadu Buhari continued with his timely submission of budget as he laid the last budget of his administration before the joint session of the National Assembly. 2 months after a rigorous journey, the National Assembly has passed the money bill with an increment of 1.3 trillion, arising from additional items introduced after the submission of the budget.
These new funding include Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Science and Technology, Ministry of Health, National Population Commission, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Army, National Institute for Security Studies, the Nigerian Police Force, Ministry of Aviation, and new National Steel Council, among others.
We have also passed the supplementary budget for 2022. We expect total implementation, no selective implementation. It should be total because this has been what this administration has always tried to do.
The 2023 budget targeted at achieving higher inclusive and sustained growth, maintain fiscal viability, and ensure smooth transition to the incoming administration is based on oil price of $75 to a barrel, daily production of 1.69 million barrels per day. In the budget tagged Budget of Fiscal Consolidation and Transition, 967.4 billion is for statutory transfer, 8.3 trillion for non-debt recurrent costs. Capital allocation is 5.9 trillion, while debt servicing is 6.5 trillion. The budget was also passed by the House of Representatives. As usual, Ministry of Works and Housing has the highest capital allocation of 398.2 billion. Agriculture and Rural Development, 248.3 billion. Defense, 285 billion. Education, 153.7 billion. Water Resources, 83.2 billion. Health, 134.9 billion. Ministry of Transport, 74.2 billion. Power, 56.1 billion. Ministry of Justice, 34.1 billion. While Information and Culture has 11.8 billion.
To authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation, the total sum of 21 trillion 827 billion.
We also appreciate the cooperation of and understanding of our appropriations subcommittees and our colleagues who submitted and defended their reports after weeks of rigorous budget engagement activities.
The legislators have amended the period for the implementation of the capital component of the 2022 budget from December 31st, 2022 to 31st of March 2023. The Ninth Assembly has sustained the passage of Nigeria's annual budget before the end of the year for the fourth time. Will the incoming Assembly keep to this feat? Answers to this will be known in the next 12 months. Senate has adjourned plenary to 17th of January 2023. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo.
Now, before the Senate adjourned a plenary for next year, the National Assembly passed the 2022 supplementary budget of 819.5 billion naira to address the impact of this year's flood. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the Finance Bill 2022 was also passed in both the Senate and House of Representatives to support implementation of the 2023 budget.
The 819.5 billion naira 2022 supplementary budget approved by both the Senate and House of Representatives is for capital expenditure, with 704.7 billion naira allocated to Ministry of Works and Housing. 69.2 billion naira is for the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. 30 billion naira goes to the Federal Capital Territory, while 15.5 billion naira goes to Ministry of Water Resources.
Is for contribution to the Development Fund for Capital Expenditure for the year ending on the 31st day of March 2023. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. As have it.
The bill seeks to, among other things, make available additional funds to cushion the effects of 2022 flood on the road infrastructure, agriculture, water, and completion of some ongoing critical projects that has achieved 85% completion.
The two chambers also passed the Finance Bill 2022 to support the implementation of the 2023 budget, with the aim of reducing budget deficit by increasing revenue and reducing losses from tax.
The primary objective of any government is the welfare. But again, you cannot maintain the welfare and security when you do not have funds to maintain the system. We have to look inward.
There are about 11 laws which the bill seeks to amend. Key reforms to specific tax, customs, and fiscal and other relevant laws.
The National Assembly has approved the extension of the implementation of the capital components of the 2022 budget to 31st March 2023. Plenary at Senate and House of Representatives featured passage of the 2023 budget of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, totaling 262.9 billion naira. Meanwhile, Senate has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to extend the use of the old naira notes from 31st January 2023 to 30th June 2023. House of Representatives adopted resolutions to investigate the sale of oil mining license 11 and the killing of Bolanle Rahim by a policeman in Lagos. Plenary has been adjourned to 17th January 2023. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Now, away from the National Assembly, Nigeria's naira extended losses on the official market on Wednesday to a record low of 461 naira to the dollar. Trading resumed after the Christmas holiday and the currency weakened to cope with high foreign exchange demand. The naira hit a low of 460.20 kobo earlier, down from its opening position of 454 naira 98 kobo. And data released by the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System shows that the total number of point-of-sales POS machines deployed by merchants and individuals across Nigeria hit 1.6 million in the month of November 2022. And of course, Twitter technology giant Twitter suffered a major outage this Wednesday, leaving tens of thousands of users globally unable to access the popular social media platform or use its key features for several hours before services appeared to come back online. The incident in the social media site's first apparent widespread service disruption since billionaire Elon Musk took over Twitter as CEO late October 2022. Reports say Down Detector, a website that tracks outages through a range of sources, including user reports, showed more than 10,000 affected users from the United States, about 2,500 from Japan, and about 2,500 from the UK at the peak of the disruption. And of course, experts have attributed some of the disruptions to activities of hackers, but in the coming days, we'll be able to find out what really transpired. And in other business news, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov on Wednesday said the restriction on the supply of Russian oil will apply not only to new contracts, but also to existing ones if they refer to some kind of price selling. He said if there is a reference to any price selling, then of course the restriction will be applied. But if there is no reference to a price selling, then it does not apply. On December 5, an embargo on maritime oil supplies from Russia to the European Union came into force. The EU, the Group of Seven, the UK, Germany, Italy, Canada, USA, France, and Japan, as well as Australia, agreed on a price cap for Russian oil supplied by sea at $60 per barrel. The US, EU, and UK are banning their companies from providing transport, financial and insurance services to tankers carrying oil from Russia at a price above the agreed upon level on Tuesday. President Vladimir Putin signed a decree on retaliatory measures to the West imposition of a price cap on Russian oil. The document banned supply of Russian oil to buyers who joined the West restrictions. Oil prices dipped Thursday as surging COVID-19 cases in China dimmed hopes of a recovery in fuel demand for the world's largest crude oil importer. Brent futures fell 26 cents or 0.3% to $83 a barrel, while U.S. crude fell 26 cents or 0.3% to $78.70 a barrel. The scale of the latest outbreak and doubts over official data prompted some countries to enact new travel rules on Chinese visitors, even as China began dismantling the world's strictest COVID regime of lockdowns and testings. We now see price of other commodities on the global market. Well, we're counting down to the close of the year 2022, and black marketers are still having a field day making brisk business as fuel scarcity persists into the last week of the year in some parts of Lagos metropolis. Amaka Owo has a situation report.
The Christmas holidays are officially over, and as expected, life is back on the streets. But so are long queues at fuel service stations. Black marketers on standby, making profit and providing fuel at higher prices to customers who cannot wait for long hours.
If you come meet me, I go enter police station, go buy fuel. Okay. I go buy fuel, I go sell them. Okay. I do see small money, small money, but because I dey eat, I want to eat.
Here, the major marketers are selling at the approved pump price. The reason for the long queues, these customers lament their woes, describing the situation as worrisome.
The impact of this scarcity is everywhere. It's affecting our businesses, it's affecting our homes, it's affecting even our morale. It's affecting all that we do.
Yesterday, I bought seats at Bagada at the rate of 240 naira. So even some people are even quarreling with the attendants there because they said the day first they sell it at the rate of 200. So yesterday they now put 40 naira on top of it.
What I experienced yesterday, where they used to carry maybe like 200 naira, yesterday they charge 500 naira. And we couldn't argue it, we couldn't contest it.
Letting the fuel circulate quickly so that people can be able to get the fuel easily. So that we'll not be on the queue. Even some of my colleagues, they slept here till daybreak.
Bringing a lasting solution to the fuel scarcity experienced across areas in Lagos State will put smiles on the faces of a lot of Nigerians in this city. In Lagos, Amaka Owo.
Of course, we also hope that it's going to abate in no distant time. But then, one of the factors identified as drawbacks to development in most African countries, including Nigeria, is the corrupt activities being perpetrated by individuals and corporate bodies with ulterior motives. Now, the Nigerian government, through the instrumentality of the law, is beaming its searchlight on the activities of such shady organizations that act as facilitators of illicit financial deals. Olabode Ariowa will give us that detail.
The pursuit of progress is the aspiration of peoples in all nations, but when it eludes them, they seek solutions to their challenges. Since independence, Nigeria has embarked on several national development plans, but these have not recorded the envisaged results. Economists finger corruption as the major culprit for this, as money stolen from the public purse is diverted into illicit financial activity. These illicit financial flows, which are movements of illegally earned money to hide their sources, include drug cartels using the profit from drug trade to invest in other sectors, engaging in under-invoicing to evade the payment of taxes, using non-governmental organizations as fronts to fund terrorist activities, investing their illicit funds in real estate property, and so on. The International Center for Investigatory Reporting estimates that in Nigeria, at least $18 billion are lost annually to illicit financial transactions. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, ICPC, and other anti-graft agencies have intensified sensitization of Nigerians on how to recognize and report financial crimes in their environments, advocating a register of beneficiary owners of landed property in view of the findings that the sector is being used as a conduit for illicit financial flows. A major outcome of recent moves to outlaw illicit financing is the seizure made of process of crime by the anti-graft agencies under the Federal Ministry of Justice. As part of its anti-corruption efforts, the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Justice, has recovered over $1 billion from corrupt individuals in the last 7 years.
Federal Ministry of Justice, within the 18-month period I am talking about, was actively involved in prosecution of 312 criminal cases for various offenses, including terrorism, maritime offenses, armed robbery, cybercrime, kidnapping, among others. We have so far, as a ministry, secured over 1,000 convictions on terrorism.
The FCC said it recovered $386 million, 152 billion naira, and 30 automobiles in 2021 alone. And in June this year, The ICPC raided a property in Maitama, Abuja, where cash and other valuables were recovered from a military contractor. This is apart from the 166 billion naira ICPC said that it recovered within the last 30 months.
The non-profit sector is a unique sector that provides services to humanity across the world. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, the sector has been at risk of terrorist financing. In particular, the vulnerability of the sector has been a global concern, as it has been used to raise, move funds, and provide logistical support to terrorist organizations, not only in this country, but across the world.
Recently, Nigeria joined the Beneficial Ownership Leadership Group, being championed by the Open Government Partnership to stop illicit financial flows in the mining and oil sectors. As a fallout of this, the nation is developing a beneficial ownership register to forestall the activities of anonymous companies. Experts believe that the most effective way to limit illicit financial flows is to increase financial transparency, along with sustained public support for government's whistleblower initiative to expose economic and financial crimes. In Abuja, Olaboderewa.
Now, there is this common belief that women are weaker vessels and limited to certain types of duties. However, the activities of most women in the society are proving this impression wrong and asserting the one that says what a man can do, a woman also can do, as women now thrive in male-dominated businesses. Abiola Ario takes us through the story of 42-year-old Toyin Awodumila, who is thriving in the popular commercial tricycle driving business.
In a contemporary society where people are adopting several surviving strategies in the face of harsh economic realities and scarcity of jobs, people are venturing into different kinds of trades as well as embracing vocational skills to make ends meet. When one hears about commercial transportation, what really comes to mind is that it is a male-dominated profession. It is amazing these days seeing the female gender riding tricycles for commercial purposes in order to make ends meet. This is the story of a 42-year-old Toyin Awodumila who lost her husband in the year 2021 and has to cater for 2 children by riding tricycle, popularly known as keke, in Akure metropolis.
So being a widow does not mean I should become a prostitute or a thief, and my children are going to eat, and so I can't depend on ordinary my handwork. Mainly I'm a fashion designer, but it's not enough for what I have on ground.
She earns at least 6,000 naira to 7,000 naira on a daily basis, plying the popular post office to Ijoka Road, Akure, between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m.
It's not affecting my own. When I wake up in the morning, I get my children prepared for school. By 6:37, I'll go back home to take care of them and check their books.
Although riding tricycle for commercial purpose is majorly a man's job, Toyin enjoys good relationship with her passengers and co-riders.
I know if the woman did not know how to drive a tricycle, they won't allow her here in the garage. So my mind is at rest. So it's just surprising, sha.
They can ride better than even than men at times. They handle it very well. They don't, as far as the women are concerned, we don't have problem with them.
A drive round Akure metropolis reveals that other female commercial tricycle operators like Toyin Awodumila engage in the business, thriving in the perceived male-dominated business.
When I was growing up, I like to do things that boys do around us, so that is one of the things. So when I saw this Marua in Akure here, I developed interest and I decided to go and learn it and go into and do the business.
It's not affecting my home because I balance it soon. So before going out, I do the normal thing I need to do as a woman.
With the common saying that no food for a lazy man, the story of Toyin Awodumila among other female folks could be pointed to the fact that there will always be opportunity in every situation. In Akure, Abiola Ario.
Of course, Women doing great things out there. We move to the stock market where the bulls are still roaming in Nigeria as stocks gain on the trading day, the very first one after the holiday shortened week to sustain the winning streaks, a signal that Santa is still in the house. Boss Day Abel is, of course, update from the global scene.
European markets are set for a slightly lower open on Thursday as caution returns to global stocks, with investors assessing a number of likely headwinds in 2023. UK's FTSE 100 is seen around 24 points lower at 7,473. Germany's DAX is expected to drop by around 38 points to 13,888, and France's CAC 40 is set to open around 19 points lower at 6,491. Asia-Pacific markets traded lower, taking the lead from Wall Street's losses overnight as investors look to the year ahead. The Nikkei 225 in Japan fell 1.94%. The Shanghai Composite lost 0.44%, and the Hang Seng Index in Hong Kong also dipped 1.07%. Overnight on Wall Street in the US, the major indices closed lower as investors headed into the final trading days of 2022, with Apple weighing heavily on Dow as it broke a key level and fell to another 52-week low. Africa markets are kicking off mixed Thursday morning, with Namibia's overall index opening positive, while South Africa resumed negative. Other stocks are yet to post new figures as at the time of this report. Boss said the able. Business Express.
And the program returns tomorrow, Friday, the last day, working day of the year 2022. Don't forget to be safe out there. God bless Nigeria. My name is Leah Katun Babatunde. Have a wonderful day.